Hey y'all, so this is part 2 of the introduction to quadratic functions assignment. So part 2 of the introduction to quadratic functions assignment. There was a part 1 video, so if you have not watched that, watch that first. Okay, all right, so this is part 2. So part 1 video cut me off. I was in the middle of talking about this. So we just discussed the interval was -6, -3 on the x-axis. So we have -6 here on the x-axis. And then we also were talking about at the end of part 1 video, we were talking about that this is 0, counting by ones. So this is -1 since it's to the left, and then -2. So next would be, let me try that again. So this point would be at x is -3. Okay, so we want to find the rate of change. Rate of change is just like what we used to do for linear, rise over run. So when we're on the x-axis at -6, we have a point up here, okay? And then when we're at x is -3, we have a point on the x-axis. So we want to find the rate of change between these 2 points. We want to find the rate of change between these 2 points. Okay, so we're going to start with our rise, and we can start at the bottom. So notice we're not going to count every tile. We're going to count the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to start at the bottom. So we're starting at 0. It's going to go up 1. So 1 is 2 tiles. So we're going to go up 1, we're going to go up 2, up 3, up 4, up 5, up 6. So we went up 6. So our rise over here is 6. Okay, so let's make sure I'm on that line here. So we are on this -3 line. Now we want to go to the right. How do I get to that top point? Should I go to the right or should I go to the left? Which way should I go to get to this top point? Very good, to the left. So we're going to go to the left. How many? Let's see how many. And notice the x-axis, 1 tile is 1. So we're going to just go by 1 tile. So 1, 2, 3. But we went to the left. So is that positive or negative? Very good, negative. So our run, we went across -3. Now you just need to find your answer for that. Okay? So 6 divided by -3. Find your answer. That'll be your rate of change. And I think you might have a couple more questions of that. So use this question 8 to help you on those. This will be your example. Okay. And remember, you can rewind, rewatch, pause. It's a video, so
determine the value of the function for the input
you can use
indicated.
those sources. All right.
Determine the value of the function for the input indicated.
All right, remember we already went over this, so look back at those previous questions. Input, remember, means your x value. So if we have an input value of -3, then x equals -3. So you need to take this equation and plug in where x is -3. Anytime you see x, put -3. Anytime you see x, replace it with parentheses for -3. So again, anytime you see x, I see x, and I see x, replace it with parentheses -3. Okay?
Find the rate of change
All
for the
right.
indicated
Awesome
interval.
job. You'll do that one, the rest of it on your own. Okay.
Find the rate of change for the indicated interval.
So this is just like that previous question we did, except a different interval. So it's going to be between 2 and 6 on the x-axis. So here's x is 2, here's x is 6. So if I go up, I see a point here. If I go up, I see a point here. So you're going to find the rate of change between these 2 points. So find your rise and your run. So start at 2 and be careful. This y-axis is counting by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So be careful when you're counting. So you're going to start at 2 and then count all the way up to 14. So how much did you rise? Start at that bottom point at 2. Start at the bottom point at 2. Count all the way up to 14. How much did you rise? Okay. And then you're going to go across. So you go up. And then the x-axis is counting by 1.
Compare the
So that
graphs
should
of a
be okay.
linear, quadratic, and
And
exponential
then
functions
count,
to find the
let's see.
indicated rate of change for the interval.
And count across. Okay. All right. And then you'll divide and find your answer. Rise over run. Awesome job.
Compare the graphs of a linear, quadratic, and exponential functions to find the indicated rate of change for the interval.
All right, so it's that same exact question. You're just doing it on multiple graphs. So you want to find which graph has a rate of change of 1 over 3, that rise over run, between intervals 0 and 3. So 0 to 3, 0, and then 3 is about here for that graph, 0 to 3. This one, 3 is here, 0. So it's starting at this point, sorry. And then 3, 0 to 3, and then 0 to 3. So find your rise over run for each of those graphs. Start at the bottom point, count up and across. Start at the bottom point, count up and across.
Determine which function increases
Start
at a faster
the bottom
rate
point,
and
count
explain
up
why.
and across. Start at the bottom point. This one's going down and across. Okay? And be careful. I think this x-axis, I think all the axes, they're counting by, actually this one's counting by 0.5s. And then these are counting by 1s. And then the y-axes are counting on a different scale also. So pay attention to the scale. Okay? Awesome job.
Determine which function increases at a faster rate and explain why.